Good morning, Bulldogs. I'm Mrs. Eding, and today's my day to get to read a book to you guys. Welcome back from spring break. We've missed you, and I hope you are doing well and that you're enjoying this remote learning. It's kind of a new thing for all of us. The book I'm going to read today is called Everybody Needs a Rock. It is by Bird Baylor, and the pictures are by Peter Parnell. I picked this book just because I love rocks. I don't know a lot about rocks, but for some reason whenever I am outdoors, I notice rocks. So this book really speaks to me. The first time I heard it, the book was already 25 years old, and I think I heard it back in 1997. So if you're good at math, you can figure out what year this book was published. So, Everybody Needs a Rock. We bought this book, Mr. Eding and I bought this book for our daughters a long time ago. All right. First of all, have you guys ever noticed that huge boulders look like the shape of some animal or some creature? The illustrator of this book did a lot with making those boulders look like something else, so I hope you enjoy that part too. Okay, everybody needs a rock. I'm sorry for kids who don't have a rock for a friend. I'm sorry for kids who only have bicycles, horses, elephants, goldfish, 3-room playhouses, playstations, fire engines, and things like that if they don't have a rock for a friend. That's why I'm giving them my own 10 rules for finding a rock. Not just any rock, I mean a special rock that you can find yourself and keep as long as you can, maybe forever. If somebody says, "What's so special about that rock?" don't even tell them. I don't. Nobody's supposed to know what's special about another person's rock. All right, here are the rules. Rule number 1. If you can, go to a mountain made out of nothing but 100 million small, shiny, beautiful, roundish rocks. But if you can't, any place will do, even an alley, even a sandy road. Rule number 2. When you're looking at rocks, don't let mothers or fathers or sisters or brothers or even best friends talk to you. You should choose a rock when everything is quiet. Don't let dogs bark at you or bees buzz at you. But if they do, don't worry. The worst thing you can do is go rock hunting when you are worried. Rule number 3. Bend over. More. Even more. You may have to sit on the ground with your head almost touching the earth. You have to look a rock right in the eye. Otherwise, don't blame me if you can't find a good one. Rule number 4, don't get a rock that's too big. You'll always be sorry. It won't fit in your hand right, and it won't fit in your pocket. A rock as big as an apple is too big. A rock as big as a horse is much too big. Can't get that. Rule number 5, got it. Don't choose a rock that's too small. It will only be easy to lose, or a mouse might eat it, thinking that it's a seed. Believe me, that happened to a boy in the state of Arizona. Rule number 6, the size must be perfect. It has to feel easy in your hand when you close your fingers over it. It has to feel jumpy in your pocket when you run. Some people touch a rock 1,000 times a day. There aren't many things that feel as good as a rock, if the rock is perfect. Rule number 7, look for the perfect color. That could be a sort of pinkish gray with bits of silvery shine in it. Some rocks that look brown are really other colors, but you only see them when you squint and when the sun is right. Another way to see colors is to dip your rock in a clear mountain stream, if one is passing by. Rule number 8, the shape of the rock is up to you. There's a girl in Alaska who only likes flat rocks. Don't ask me why. I like them lumpy. The thing to remember about shapes is this. Any rock looks good with 100 other rocks around it on a hill. But if your rock is going to be special, it should look good by itself in the bathtub. Rule number 9. Always sniff a rock. Rocks have their own smells. Some kids can tell by sniffing whether a rock came from the middle of the earth, or from an ocean, or from a mountain where wind and sun touched it every day for 1,000,000 years. You'll find out that grown-ups can't tell these things. Too bad for them. They just can't smell as well as kids can. Really? No smell. Rule number 10. Don't ask anybody to help you choose. I've seen a lizard pick one rock out of a desert full of rocks and go sit there alone. I've seen a snail pass up 20 rocks and spend all day getting to the one it wanted. You have to make up your own mind. You'll know. All right, that's 10 rules. If you think of any more, write them down yourself. I'm going out to play a game that takes just me and one rock to play. I happen to have a rock here in my hand. The end. So what I have here, Bulldogs, are some rocks that we have around our yard. Like we have a lot of rocks outside and quite a few inside. One of my favorites are Petoskey's. These came from Michigan. This one a good friend of mine bought for me in a store. A Petoskey is a rock that has coral that's fossilized, and it has this great little pattern on it. I don't know if you can see that very well. Okay, but a really fun thing to do is find that Petoskey by yourself. Now, you probably can't tell. I'm gonna get this a little wet. Oh, I forgot to bring a paper towel. Anyway, this rock has some Petoskey right there in it. This is a Petoskey stone that I tried putting in one of those rock polishing tumbler things, and all it did was I almost lost my whole rock. It tumbled it down really small, but you can still see the fossil pattern in it. And I think this one is also, this is one of my favorites just because it's so cool. I like getting the rocks wet, you guys. This one you can see the fossilized pattern in it of some kind. I don't know if that's Petoskey or not, but I just thought that was so interesting and pretty. Then, you know how the book said don't get a rock that's too big? Well, this one is so big, but look, I just couldn't resist because it had that stripe in it. I think that stripe is quartz. Not really sure, but I just thought it made it so pretty. And again, getting it wet changes it so much. This one, I liked how it had, first of all, this one's so smooth. I found it in water, and the water really smoothed it down. But I love how it has like this perfect little ring on it right there, different color. And I loved how this one is completely two different colors. As this one was one I found on a beach. It's almost soft. I don't know what it is. Hopefully not gum. This is a rock that I found on Tumbledown Mountain in Maine, which I love the name of that mountain, but I also love that this rock, I don't know if you can tell, it's actually bluish, and I think the blue rocks are so pretty. Okay, now I'm getting down to my last few here. These are rocks that other people gave to me. This rock was painted by a teacher who used to be at Stranahan. Her name's Mrs. Paget. She surprised me with that one morning. This is a rock that, for some reason, Mrs. Bauer likes to paint names on rocks. So that one Mrs. Bauer gave to me, and that's not really my name, but it's something she likes to call me. My daughter Maggie painted a family of rocks, and I could only find the mom and the baby, that they've been in my yard for years. And then finally, this was a little black. I love these little black rocks you can find on the beach out near Lake Michigan. They're just so smooth and they're so thin. But a kindergartner gave me, he called it this purple diamond. And I didn't want to lose that diamond, so I glued it on this rock. This huge rock here, I dug this up in my yard. I was just digging in my garden and I found it. And this is a local kind of rock. I think it's called limestone, or it might be a kind of limestone called dolomite. But if you look at it, you can see it has a good sized fossil in it. And also there's so many crushed shells that are trapped in this sedimentary rock. Did I get that right? Thing? Okay. And then finally we're down to my favorite two rocks. Maggie Eding found this on the beach when she was 2 years old. I think this time we were on Lake Huron. And she said, "Look, Mommy, it's a heart." And she gave it to me, and she is right. It's very heart-shaped, and I keep that in my bedroom. Always reminds me of Maggie. And then this rock actually belongs to Maggie. She used to call this smooth rock. She still calls it smooth rock. It's her favorite rock. It's so smooth. It's something that you can put up on your face and rub it on your face, and no matter what time of year, it can be the hottest summer day and it still feels cool. It fits in your pocket. It has a great place for your thumb to rub. It's just a very calming rock, and we love it. I can't even explain why that is, and the book says I don't have to. So let's head to our back bedroom here, where we've got a wall that's painted with some dry erase paint, and I want to show you a list of ideas for you and rocks. Let's go. So I have a list of things here that you can do with rocks, a list of activities. The first thing is you're going to need to find that perfect rock, of course. And then once you get that rock, you're going to need to clean your rock, which can be very satisfying. I recommend a bucket full of water with lots of bubbles in it and a really good scrub brush. And you can do this outside, or you could actually take that into the bathtub. My daughter Maggie has her own suggestion up here that she wants you to jam to your rock. Not sure what that is. Of course, you can paint or bejewel your rock. Another suggestion is you can build an inukshuk, which is like making it's almost like a little man built out of balancing rocks. But then once you do that, you probably should research why you should not build an inukshuk. In a lot of parks, people are moving stones and building these inukshuks, and it's kind of creating a disturbance. Like it doesn't, it makes the park less natural. The whole idea is you're not supposed to leave a trace when you go into a park. Number 7, you could sort your rocks. You could sort them by their size, their shape, their color, the type of rock. Number 8, check out the Toledo Gem and Rockhound Club. It's a group that meets over at the Toledo Botanical Gardens, and I know a couple of former Stranahan students are part of that group. Number 9, you can find other books about rocks, or just look up articles on rocks by looking up maybe our national parks like Arches or the Grand Canyon or Zion, or even Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore up in Michigan. Mrs. Earp went kayaking up there 2 summers ago. You can just search geology, or you can look up the 3 main types of rocks. Look into going to Fossil Park, but you'll need to double check that they're open. They also might be closed down right now. And then of course look up any book on fossils or volcanoes, check out diamonds or our native limestone. And then finally, enjoy your rock, Bulldogs. I miss you so much, and I hope I get to see you soon. Have a good day.